Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are here on Independence Street as we start the Independence Street Streetscape project. A lot of us have a lot of questions, I was one of them, about what's going on down here and what it's going to do to improve the town and what kind of features are we looking forward to. So I reached out to the mayor, did a little interview, did a little bit of investigation myself, and I'm going to put together a little story here for you to try to explain it a little better so we all understand what's going to happen here in the city of Shamokin on Independence Street. So let's crack on, ladies and gentlemen. So right here, they're starting a project of the bump outs. The bump outs or curb extensions are proposed in several key intersections throughout the corridor for the purpose of increasing both pedestrian and motorist safety by reducing the distance of roadway pedestrians need to cross, also improving sight lines at key intersections since the street curves and plain and large parked vehicles can limit visibility. The intersections receiving bump out treatments across the Independence Street include 8th Street, 9th Street, Orange Street, Washington Street, and Rock Street. The pedestrian facilities on Independence Street do not meet the current ADA standards. Curb ramps with compliant slopes, transitions, and tactical warning surfaces will be installed at all pedestrian crossings. So they're designing these bump outs curved just ever so rightly so the snowplows can get in and out of these parking spots more sufficiently. So they did keep that in mind as well with that I see here. A realignment of the roadway is proposed in a section throughout the Washington and Rock Street intersection to eliminate the excessively wide, double wide roadway, which that is up the street a little bit farther than where we're at right now. So that doesn't apply to this area right here. So let's talk about the walks and the hardscaping that's going to happen. Major improvements are centered around the intersections, with many of the mid-block portions between being maintained at or near current configuration but reconstructed with concrete sidewalks. Note the existing narrow bystanding area with pavers, most subject to failure, will be eliminated in the new design. So reading more out of the packet, there's furnishings, planters, and overhead XN lighting will be considered primary at the intersection locations, or basically where these bump outs are, for more available space at the intersections. With the bump outs also considered activities, with provided the cost of savings. So for parking, the pull-in angle is being maintained throughout the corridor to maintain aspects of parking. Every effort is being taken to minimize the overall reduction in the quality of parking. So basically they want to keep it the way it is, but make it a little bit more improved for safety and line of sight, basically. Well, by making these bump outs, I guess. The need for ATV parking was an item that was brought up in concern here. So planning the process, design team is elevating the possibility of including compact vehicle ATV spaces to increase parking totals to accommodate the demand created by Shamokin's unique circumstances. So about these bright lights that are down here now on Independence Street, planning efforts prior to the start of the project identified the community's desire to replace the existing high mass fluorescent light fixtures on Independence Street. These fixtures were recently installed under a long-term maintenance agreement between the city and PPL. Based on information provided by the city, it was determined that the replacement of the current light fixtures was not feasible. This action does represent a significant overall cost saving to the project, at least. So I'm not understanding the next paragraph here. In order to provide lighting accent opportunity, the project is proposing overhead costume style string lighting spanning on Independence Street near the intersections. I really don't understand if they're going to do this or not, or what it actually is, but some cost implements above the standard were lighting fixtures. So don't know if they're going to do this or not, but that would be pretty cool to have different colors and stuff like that at intersections. You can change them and whatever. But yeah, let's move forward to the next one. So we're going to start talking about the planting and the other amenities they're going to put out here, such as benches, trash receptacles, bike racks, and is that billboards? No kidding, they're going to put billboards out. So yeah, they're going to have a bunch of different things. I'm not sure exactly what all it's going to be. I mean, I have the pictures and everything we'll overlay here in a moment, and we'll talk about those. So far I don't see anything about improving any of the buildings around here or tearing any of them down, bringing in businesses. I don't see any of that kind of information, but again, who knows what the whole 360 view is on this, but we're trying to figure it out together, aren't we? So let's go ahead and start throwing those overlays in of the stuff that they're going to start putting in here. How about it? Alright, so here in this picture we're looking at the planters, and the color scheme you see is highlighted there on the top picture right there. And then the lighting package that they were talking about down on the below side there. Looks pretty cool. I like the idea of both of those actually, as long as they maintain it, right? Alright, so next up we have 3 more items. We're going to start with the billboard, it's called? I don't know what that is. It looks like a little post and all that on the top there where they'll put somewhere. We have the site amenity package we're looking at. So then we got what looks like fencing down below, which they already have that at the illumination station. And then as you see, the site paving package right there. So you get the different color brick patterns that they're going to use in the pavers or whatnot. So what do y'all think about these color schemes and all that good stuff? Let's move on to the next one. All right, here we got the benches up there. As you see, I believe they already have those at the Pocket Park on the top picture there. And then those are going to be our new trash cans down there. Not sure if that's a design they have already, but that's pretty cool though. I hope they make it so you can't put larger trash bags in it. Like people downtown have used that privilege a lot. But really cool though, the bike rack idea. That is an awesome idea to have that, to lock the bikes up, be a little more secure down there. As an e-bike rider, I really appreciate that. Next item up is a whole map of the project right there in one shot, as you can see where it starts to where it finishes. Not much we could talk about that, but I got several smaller pictures we're going to look at too for each block and what the design is real quick, so hang tight. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the very beginning up here on Market Street to North Anthracite Street, I believe it's called. That's block by block what the plan is, so you guys can see everything right there. So the next one will be from North Anthracite to 8th Street. Pretty straight looking block right there if you ask me. Not a bad situation, this should be simple to do. This next one's from 8th Street, just a little bit past Wendy's there. It shows it doesn't have an end street on it, but yep, that's that little area where it first starts curving. Alright, so this next one is the block with the laundromat on it. As you see, that's pretty much right where they're working now, where they already started. Pretty cool, right? This next block is from North 9th to Orange Street. Pretty interesting. It's in the Luna's block area, so they were started right in that vicinity. And next up is from North Orange to Liberty Street right there. There's where the OIP and the ale house is, and vacant lots whatnot, you know. Next up is from Liberty to Washington Street right there by the public library and post office. Alright, and this next block right here is where they're talking about making it a little bit more narrow and taking away some of the extra double wideness right there. So yeah, that's that area right up there. Last but not least, we're going to go from Rock Street till just about the beginning of Verilife there. They're going to change the way to park on the right-hand side of the road if you're coming in from Shamokin Street. But other than that, I don't see a very big significant change in that area except for how wide the road is. But alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to rise up and take one more look at Independence Street here in 2026 before all the improvements happen. So if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope I helped you get a little more insight on this. I know I did. Trying to research the story, I learned a little bit more. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. Rise above, crack on, stay safe out there, y'all.